So, I went to Ikea. You know those stations where they give out rulers and pencils? Yeah, I went there. And I hit those stations. Hard. Disclaimer, it wasn't really a heist, I'm just dramatizing it. The customer service guy told me that I could take as much as I wanted. So I did just that. Please don't arrest me. Anyways, on that fateful day, I went to an Ikea about half an hour away from my home. Sydney doesn't have many Ikeas, and I went to, and they're all spaced really far apart. So I went to one that was just that, I guess. But then I went there for the first time. I thought, this place is heaven. It's just too good. I took some pencils and some rulers because they were complimentary. And then I bought some stuff. And then I went out. It was just normal customer interaction. But then I thought it wasn't enough. I had lots of ideas. I made the paper springs with these rulers. So it would be this. And still to this day, I like it so much. It's just so satisfying to play with. But then I thought this wasn't enough. I decided to go back there and hit it again. So I planned my return, and I waited for 2 weeks until I was able to return back there without being recognized by security. I planned every single one of my moves meticulously to maximize my ruler yield. But when I entered, I felt a pang of guilt. So the best thing I could have done in that situation, I went to a staff member and asked if it was legal for me to take this many rulers. Yes, I did the one thing that no robber should do, because I'm not a robber. And, look, the guy I talked to, damn, he was such a nice guy. He said, well, I reckon you could just go ham on it. Just take as many as you want. Just don't flaunt them around. And that's exactly what I did. I walked out with 4 pockets of rulers, 2 pockets in my pants, 2 pockets in my jacket, and a massive grin on my face. So today, in commemoration of the great ruler heist and the friendly staff member who let me take this much, we're gonna be making some paper springs. Oh, and also a lot of pencils too. So today I'm gonna be teaching you how to make paper springs out of either, if you have IKEA rulers like me, which is unlikely, or you can just get a long strip of paper. It doesn't have to be too long, just like thin here, but really long. Sorry, I just said it didn't have to be too long. But yeah, and also glue or tape. Preferably glue, because glue is lighter. So you are going to be making this paper spring. This is like combined 4 lengths of rulers. But it's going to be quite a while for you to be able to connect them. So it has lots of practical uses like that. You can do that to surprise someone, or you can just play around with it. It's so fun. It's like rope, but stronger too, because this is weak compared to this. And there are variations too. You can stick these on each other to make thicker ropes. For example, this rope is really heavy. You see how thick it is compared to this one? It's kind of hard to see, but if you look very closely, you can see the difference. Because this is 5 layers, and it doesn't rip as easily. When you're trying to open it really fast, it has a tendency to rip. Therefore, I recommend gluing layers on top of each other before you actually start the steps. And the steps are as I'm going to show you now. So first, you're going to apply glue here. And then, on the face that you just glued, put the second piece on a 90-degree angle, so make sure they are perpendicular. Of course, you can tape it as well, but it's going to be harder with tape. And now, take a very close look at these. Oop, it's not going to focus. This, the rope going down, is the rope that is behind, and the rope going sideways is in front. Therefore, I'm going to fold this upwards. Make sure you don't fold the other way, and make sure that it follows here. So now you have this going upwards, right? But then this one is now behind. Therefore, you wrap it this way. Now the top one is behind, so you wrap it down. The thing is, whichever piece is behind, you will wrap it around the opposite way that it is facing. So if it is facing right, then you turn it to the left. If it is facing down, you turn it up. Like so. And you keep going until you reach the end. Now a common mistake, this is the top. And a common mistake would to be wrap it around the top. Do not do this. Make sure you are building it down the way that the ropes are facing. Make sure you have a predetermined top so you do not cross onto the top. So now I'm just going to finish this. Oh, and quick tip. If your rope is too long, it's going to be bothersome having to move the rope the whole way. So instead of doing that, take the center, you turn it down, and then you turn that sideways. And then you just keep going. You turn the center bit instead of actually turning the rope. So just like this, and just turning the center. Turning the top, and then just keep going. You'll notice that the ropes are starting to curl, so if they're curling too much, just straighten them out so they don't rip. But yeah, after that, just keep going. Just keep curling. So like this. See how I'm not moving the ropes, I'm just moving this part? That's what makes it much faster. But also make sure that your folds are on like a 90-degree angle. Because if it's not, this will start to twist. Oop. The spring will start to twist. Oh my days, the light. Oop. The spring will start to twist. So, unless you want an imperfection like that, I wouldn't recommend it, but you can still do that. So yeah, I'm gonna finish this. Now, I finish this. Now I have two options here. Number one, I can just simply close this off. Sorry. I can simply close it off. So these are the two strands that I've folded over, and I could simply close it off and glue them together, and voila, I'm done. Or I can make more and connect it. So I'm going to be showing you how to connect the pieces. Most preferably use glue with this. So you grab the end here. This is the end that has the pieces connected. And then you want to look like this. So it has two pieces here. This one is on the bottom. This one is on the top. So you glue the center square, right square, top square, center. Glue the center square. Now, as you see, this here has two gaps, 1 and 2. So you're going to make sure the gaps are going to be facing these tabs, which are going to fold in. Then after that, glue the right and the top squares. This is kind of bad. So then you will get this tab here, you fold this in, and then you fold the second tab in to close on the first tab. So now this should be connected like that. So please leave a comment if my instructions were a bit too vague, or if my lighting was horrible. But yeah, that's about it. See ya. Heck, I'm being strangled.